the Orange County Main Library, and I'm here today with a fun activity. We're not going to do a story time this time. We're going to do a fun science activity, actually based on a book that we read last story time. So if you remember, we read this story, What Color is Night by Grant Snyder. And we started it out asking, what color is night? And I had a hard time thinking of anything other than blue or black. But as we read the story, we discovered that nighttime actually has a whole lot of different colors. We saw yellow for windows and for the moon and the stars. And then we discovered later on that you might see green in creatures' eyes at nighttime, or white. So that we actually discovered there are a lot of different colors in the middle of the night, not just black and blue, what you would think of at first. So today, instead of reading another story, we're going to do an activity that explores the idea that there are actually a lot of colors hidden inside other colors. So we're going to do a fun activity, and you just need a few materials. You can ask your grown-up to gather some of these. If you don't have them at the house, maybe the next time they go to the grocery store, they could pick up a few of these for you. But all you need are a few white coffee filters, just like this. And these are the, if you tell your grown-up, these are the big ones. But you can use the little ones if those are the ones you have. And then also some different colored markers. So if you use water-soluble markers, so you can use Crayola. I have Mr. Sketch markers here. So any markers that would dissolve in water are fine to use. And you can use any color you want to, but this experiment does work a little bit better if you use the darker colored markers. So today when I do it, I'm going to use black and brown and purple, but you're welcome to try this with all the markers in the pack or any of them that you want to try it with. These are just the ones that you get the most reaction from. And then you will need just a couple of cups. If you have paper cups, plastic cups, ceramic cups, whatever cup you can find. You'll just need a couple of cups for each coffee filter. And I'll go ahead and show you what we're going to do. So your coffee filter is going to start out looking a little bit like a cup, but what you want to do is flatten it out a little bit so it's easier to draw on. And you'll notice if you look really closely at it, there's a circle in the middle of the coffee filter, and we're going to basically draw around that circle. So I'm going to take a marker and draw a circle around there, make it sort of a thick line with lots of markers so you have lots of color on your coffee filter. But you want to make sure not to fill in the whole circle. You want to leave some white space in the middle. So you're just going to do an outline of the circle right here. And so I'm doing purple, and then I'll go ahead and do black and brown. And I'm going to fill up my cup with water, and I'll be right back. Right. Once you have drawn your circles on your coffee filters, we're going to fold it so it looks like this. So all you have to do is fold your coffee filter in half, like that, and then in half one more time. With this one, fold it in half, and then in half again. All right, so I have all of my coffee filters folded, and then I have my 3 cups filled up with water. So the key with your water is you want this white part of your coffee filter to get wet, but you're going to try to keep your marker out of the water. So you just want it to be deep enough that it just covers the tip of this coffee filter. So I think I've got my water amount right. If not, you can just dip it in and adjust it. Looks pretty good. And if you want, you can spread out your coffee filter a little bit to help it sit in your cup without falling in. I'm going to try this one, my brown one. And here goes my black coffee filter. It's okay if your marker gets in the water a little bit, it still works. So I'm going to let these sit for a minute. If you look at it, you'll notice that the water is starting to absorb, it's starting to go up the coffee filter. The coffee filter's soaking up the water in the cup, and your marker circle is getting wet. And as you watch it, this will take probably about 10 to 15 minutes for it to go up the coffee filter. As the water starts to soak up the coffee filter, your marker color will start to move up the coffee filter sides as well, along with the water. And as that happens, you might start to see some secret hidden colors show up on the coffee filter. So I'm going to wait on this for a little bit, and then we'll come back and see what we've got. All right, so we're back, and I waited about 9 minutes. It just took me 9 minutes for the marker to be absorbed up the side of the coffee filter. You see on some of them it's made it all the way to the top, and this one's almost all the way to the top. So I'm going to take these out. I've got some paper towels spread out on the table. I'm just going to open these up and lay them on the paper towel, and they can dry there. So one thing I did discover while I was doing this the first time, if you noticed, my cups changed, and when I started this experiment with the bigger cups, I had trouble with the coffee filters falling into the cup because the cup was too big. So I switched to smaller cups. These are kind of bathroom cups. So if you have any smaller cups like this, I think these would work a little bit better. Your coffee cups or your coffee filters are too big to slide all the way in, so then they won't get soaked. And then one other thing I forgot to mention, when we were drawing the circles with the markers on our coffee filters on the table, the marker does go through the coffee filter. So I'm drawing on a table that we use for arts and crafts all the time, so it's okay if it gets messy. But if you're drawing on a table that's more important, it's good to put down some cardboard or some paperboard or maybe some newspaper underneath your coffee filter when you're drawing the circle with your markers, because it will leak through onto the table underneath. Just wanted to let you know of that. But now is the really fun part. We're going to take a look at our coffee filters. So this one was the brown marker. This one looks so neat. If you notice, there's a lot of different colors hidden inside. I see like a reddish pink, and then there's the brown, and then I even see hints of blue and green around the edges. So as the water moved up the coffee filter, it took the marker with it, and it started to separate all the colors that were hidden inside of the brown color. And you can see, after it separates, all the colors that went into mixing together to make that brown marker. Over here is the purple marker, and this one, I see the purple, and then as it moves up the edges of the coffee filter, there's some reddish pink, and then some blue at the very edge. And then look at this black one. This was our black marker. Look at all the colors in that. I definitely see blue and red and brown and some black left. So you can see all the colors that are hidden inside just a single color of a marker. And just like we discovered in our book, that if you look really closely, you can see lots of different colors in the nighttime, other than just black and blue. This is a fun experiment you can do with marker colors and discover all the colors that are hidden inside of those. So I hope you have a chance to do this at home And if you do it, I would love it if you could post pictures, especially if you do some different colors than I did, of all the different results that you get. You can post them on our library Facebook page or on our Instagram or Facebook accounts. So I'd love to see what you do, and I hope you have fun with this, and I'll see you next time for another fun program. Thanks for joining me. Bye!